Hi, my name is Simon. If you're getting this video, then it means that your child has a developmental language disorder. Now you may be wondering what that is. Well, let me tell you. A developmental language disorder is a communication disorder that interferes with learning, understanding, and using language. These languages difficulties are not explained by other conditions such as hearing loss or autism, or by extenuating circumstances such as lack of exposure to language. So it is specifically a language delay. So it might have been due to, well, a disability. So in this situation, if you're having this video, then it means that your child was diagnosed with something called dysphagia, which luckily enough, this is what I have. So you may be wondering, what exactly is dysphagia? Well, it is a neurological disorder, and what it does is that the part of the brain that uses language might have been damaged as a kid, which makes it so that it's harder for the kid to understand language. So, like if you were, for instance, or in a better way to explain it, if you were in the head of your kid, imagine that your primary language was a foreigner language. That is a way to explain it. Um, so then, of course, it can be hard. It can be very hard to figure out new words or even like finding like the right words to find. Which is why that if you have this video, then of course I will be giving you strategies to actually help your child. So to begin with, for you, the parents, if you would like to have a couple of tricks to make sure that your child can understand very closely to what you are saying, well, the first step is to make sure that your articulation is correct. Like, make sure that it is uh, very, I would say crisp, but I mean like very articulate. To make sure that there aren't any convoluted meaning behind those words, which could confuse the child. And another one is to talk more slowly, so then the kid can take more time to understand what it is that you are saying. It's That would be like the best way to make sure that your kid is learning new words, or to make sure that they are actually practicing or actually hearing what it is that you are saying. If you talk faster or you get angry, then I would say that it is pointless. Furthermore, if you would like another strategy or something to help your child learn new words, then one of the possible choices is that you can get a dictionary with images in them. So what's special about it is that your kid will know what exactly they know that they want to express, but they won't be able to describe it in words. Probably because the word doesn't come up in their head, and it can be very complicated. So that's why the dictionary using images could be a priority. What it does is that there are lines of categories, so it can be like food, animals, or maybe abstract meaning at times. And so then after that, the kid can flip through the paper, and then once they find the actual word, they'll be able to, look at it, look at the image. They'll know what it is that they're talking about, but then it'll show the actual word for it. So then they'll be able to say what the word is. This will be maybe more once your kid is older, and when they need to actually start writing a few papers, and yeah. So those are just some very simple tricks. Or worst case, if you don't have the actual money for a dictionary, um, another suggestion would be you can also print some of those images. Or for like, if you need a specific category, you can pull up some images that are very important for it, and then find the word underneath it, and then you can print that. You can put in folders, which could be very important for your kid. I use them myself, but I would show an example as of now. Actually, I have like a cooking book right here. It's about charcuterie, very fancy. But as you can see, there's like what I really enjoy from it is that you can look here. It shows the instructions not only with the words, but also like with the actual gestures behind it. Because one of the skills that your kid will have is that they will understand gestures more important or at a higher level than most other kids, or they will understand gestures more than communication. So you can take that to an advantage so that when you give a kid instructions, you can find like you can show them with like your hands in them and they'll be able to repeat it. Another thing is that if your kid is actually curious about a word, something that can be very important is that your kid might be able to point towards what it is that they want to know. So that's why it's important to make sure that you are looking at the child and making and to know what they are pointing at, so then you can tell them exactly what the word is. And it's going to take more than once so that the kid may memorize it. It might be a little bit frustrating, for sure, but if you have time and patience for it, then I'm sure you'll be able to get a stronger. Eventually, they'll be able to learn the word, and they might be able to use it in phrases, which would be great. Another thing, actually, now that I'm thinking about, is another strategy for actually communication. What you can do as well is to actually shorten your phrases. Um, it could be best if you give a child a task, but give them simple tasks, which means instead of it's like bring, it's like pick up a tray, and then so then they'll pick it up, and then which would be seen as a simple task, but then a complex task it would be pick it up and put it at the table, which would be two tasks at once, which could take a lot more time to understand. So what you do is you ask them to pick it up, so then that would be one simple task, and then once they do it, then you can ask them to put it at the table, so then they will go and bring it to the table. um, it's just simplifying the process into like smaller categories to make sure so that your kid can process one thing at a time. And and yeah, so then that would be this part, or what would be very important for that one. And yeah, if you follow all of these, you can make sure that your kid will get used to all of that. And when your kid will get older, my personal suggestion, at least as someone who is dysphasic, is to make sure you read a lot. When you do read a lot, you can figure out like new phrasing, or learning about, or forcing yourself to learn words and actually flipping through dictionaries and to learn the actual words that you are learning. And it makes it so then once you start writing in English or in French, you'll be able to do it more fluently and without or with less actual delay for your head. You'll do it more. They'll be doing it more instinctively than actually thinking on what it is that they're writing. So if they can do it more instinctively to the core, it makes it that they are they'll be writing better papers over time. So and yeah, um, that's pretty much it. And I hope this is useful. And we'll and till next time, or till our next meeting, fellow parent. And have a nice day.